Happy New Year 2025. To start this year, I would like to discuss with you something that bothers me. And this is the question of, do we need to be mean to be a successful leaders? This question arose from the tributes of President Carter. I think there's two things that generally everybody agrees, most people agree about him, is that he was extremely moral, kind, but quite unsuccessful as a president. I do not want to get into the political debates, because this is not my field, about exactly the success and failures of his presidency. But of course, we can recall some fairly common views about the failure of the hostage in Iran, about economic policies, but also two things that I saw strike me about positive achievements. Of course, hearing in the last days about testimonial of his life. Number one is the peace discussion between Israel and Egypt. The fact that he brought the president of both nations, the prime minister of Israel and the president of Egypt, to come to negotiation, but also President Sadat to visit Jerusalem. And I also came to hear that the diplomatic relationship still stands to this day, actually 50 years later. This is quite an achievement. Secondly, I watched today the eulogy of President Carter at the funeral of Gerald Ford. They were political opponents. President Carter won against President Ford. But they started a lifelong friendship, not just themselves, but their spouses as well. President Carter would provide a security briefing to President Ford monthly, and whenever President Ford was in Washington, President Carter would have lunch with him at the White House. They start to consult each other to develop a real friendship. They were opponents. They were Democrats and Republican. But on a human basis, they interacted very well. And most people would think, but this is not working. And this bothered me because deep inside, I know that high moral ground, that kind and gracious leadership is the way to go. But the more I look around in our world today, the more I see that it doesn't work. That it is indeed the harsh, transactional, tough leaders that actually succeed. And I'll share probably in the next few months about examples of people that can be kind, can be successful. It requires a bit of research. And I challenge myself to provide to you beautiful examples of those. But I just wanted in these quick discussions to start the year to provide you just with 2 points. That's the shortest list I ever had. I can't come with more at the moment. 2 points. I think are just providing some solutions to this. The first one is that there is no dichotomy between kind and careful. To provide from our side generosity, kindness, to give the benefit of the doubt to people, to go the extra mile to serve them. Example of President Carter again, who served all his life, not only in his church, but also in Habitat for Humanity, and so many ways, really truly serving people, is not a dichotomy with being careful. Not everybody is as kind as you. Some people are going to find a way to trick you into your kindness or manipulate you. So I would propose a way to, on your side, be kind, generous, and of high moral ground. However, assume that people on the other side have bad intent. You can give the benefit of the trust to some extent, but in a limited way. You try a bit, you test the other person step by step. If you meet somebody you don't know, you wouldn't give them directly the keys of your house and your car and the pin of your bank cards. Of course not. So be smart, be careful, be prudent. Not overly, but just what is required. Especially in business and political games, there are manipulation. There are people who would find a way to trick you. That's the first thing. And the second point is that there is also no dichotomy between being kind and being firm. Actually, it fits really well together. If you are kind most of the time, if you are generous as your standard mode of operandum, if people know that these are your value and you live them consistently throughout your life, if one day you say, stop, this is unacceptable, or stop, I'm not ready to go there, or stop, this is unacceptable, stop, this violates my values, stop, I see that you are trying to manipulate me or mob me. People will listen. People will listen because of who you are otherwise, because you earn the right to be respected through your kindness, through your generosity. I wish you a Happy New Year 2025 and look forward for more conversation with you throughout the year. Subscribe to this podcast and let's continue our conversations. Happy New Year to you.